Hello YouTube, it's Len here with Hobbies of Man once again, and today we are doing another manga review. Today we are reviewing Dr.Stone Part 1, which I think is the Ishigami Village arc, and it's going to be a nice time. So yeah, the author for Dr.Stone is Richiro Inagaki, and the illustrator is obviously the great, the wonderful, the badass Boichi, who has very beautiful art. And this is obviously published by Viz. And it's a Shonen Jump title, and so the demographic here is Shonen, obviously, and the genres here are adventure, post-apocalyptic, and science fiction. Now, the science fiction element doesn't really come in this whole kind of idea that there's like monsters, aliens and robots and all this type of stuff, but rather the fact that science is a key aspect to the fictional world in the sense that science is what's necessary in order to, you know, develop the story and kind of provide the plot line necessary for the story to happen, right? So it's very interesting because it's not really that sort of like world building kind of thing. It's more of a plot device, if that makes sense. And obviously this does have an anime adaptation, so there you go. Now the premise here is basically that after the Senku versus Tsukasa debacle that they have, Senku, now revived, I guess, has to find the source of this smoke, the seemingly surviving people that have managed to create fire. And he ends up finding this woman who leads him to this village. And now Senku begins to science the fuck out of everything in order to fight Tsukasa once more, because he knows that the time will come when he will have to fight Tsukasa, right? So it's a very interesting thing. We kind of see Senku have to go into overdrive and kind of develop tools and ideas and all of these things necessary in order to be able to stand up against the raw power of Tsukasa. And along the way, he kind of develops this idea or this kind of group of people that help him through this idea that, you know, science will rule everything and science will fix everything and help everyone live together. And we get to see a lot of new characters show up that I think are very, very fun. I like them a lot. Now, let's get into the proper review here. The plotline here is great. I think it's very nice, and it moves forward towards a more settled situation. I think that's very nice because early on it's very kind of tumultuous. You don't really know what's going on. You don't know what's really going to happen, and it feels very early on in a situation. It kind of reminds me of, you know, when you start a new Minecraft world, right? And I think Dr. Stone, in a sense, is a very kind of Minecraft-esque kind of situation, and I think it's very nice. It's very fun. But I like that they're moving away from this kind of one man on his own into this kind of more village group-oriented kind of situation that I think is very nice. And of course, Senku is still trying to science everything back up to the 21st century, but he can't really do it right off the bat. There's so many things in the way and so many kind of achievements that he has to reach beforehand. And now that he has people to help him work through this, he basically ups his game a lot. He has the ability to develop, you know, technology way faster, way quicker in a very nice kind of fun way. And I think it's very good. And now he has, you know, this, the help that he needs, and he's going to still definitely do this kind of brains versus bronze kind of thing, because it's very important to the kind of idea of early on here in Dr. Stone, right? And of course, Ishigami Village is a point of interest because it's very useful to have people that know what the world is like now, as opposed to what the world was like, you know, I think it was like 1,000 years ago, back in the timeline of Dr. Stone. So it's very nice. And there's a lot of interesting things that happen around this village that are going to continue to happen later on. And I really enjoyed the plotline here. I thought it was very, very good. Now, the characters here, basically, we get introduced to a whole new village, a whole bunch of people. And obviously, I think by the end of volume 45, you know where these people come from in a very interesting kind of way that leads into this kind of a side story called the Byakuya reboot, whatever. It's this, whatever that is, I can't remember what it's called. And we get to meet a lot of fun characters. The first one that we meet is Chrome. Well, actually, the first one we meet is Kohaku, but she's not really the most interesting. Although her character design is beautiful, I like it a lot. And I like the type of character she is quite a bit as well. But I think the most important side character here is Chrome. He's the kind of wizard of the village, but he's a wizard because he knows science. He understands a bit of science through this kind of very fun trial and error kind of thing. And I think it's very nice. We also have Suika, which is the little girl with the watermelon on her head, which I think is funny as hell. She's very fun. I like her as a character quite a bit. And then we have Gen, who is this kind of crackpot mentalist kind of character that was awakened by Tsukasa. And we have this whole kind of infiltration spy thing going on with him that I think is very good. Then we have Ginro and Kinro, who are the protectors of the village. They're the two guys that stand guard, and they're brothers. And they kind of have this kind of funny dynamic duel kind of thing here, because Ginro is very fun and Kinro is very kind of dour. I think, if I remember correctly, that's what they are. The silver one, who has the blonde hair, is the funny one, and then the black-haired one, that's the gold character. He's very dour, and it's very fun. And then we have Kaseki, who I actually can't remember who that is. I think it's the old guy that is the master craftsman. And then we have a bunch of, you know, other characters. And we have this very fun development of Senku's individual personality as opposed to all of the other characters, and how this kind of idea that Senku is kind of like this evil guy, and not really an evil guy, but more of like a crazy scientist. And everyone kind of knows this, but it's okay because Senku is useful and he knows what he's doing and stuff like that. It's very fun. I think it's very enjoyable as a kind of story element there. And yeah, my favorite character, I think, design-wise, is definitely Kohaku. Chrome is definitely the most interesting, but I think Suika is the cutest. She's very funny, and she provides a lot of fun comedy bits that are very kind of fun, like very just enjoyable in a kind of very relaxing kind of way. She's like the very general, funny, basic level comedy, and I think it's nice. She's also so adorable and kind of like a very kind of like empathic character, and I like her a lot. World building wise, I think that it's very good. It's super enjoyable. The setting is explored a lot. The way that the world has changed is explored a lot. The kind of idea that, you know, the stone world is horrible and harsh is very good. And also the lore is developed. We get to see what happens to humanity a little bit further, right? And we get to see that humanity now hasn't really changed from how it was before, but that there is this kind of element of culture that has arisen by the fact that they come from a very specific group of people. And it's very nice. I think it's very nicely done. And yeah, great development and for humanity post-21st century. And overall, very nicely done again. Art-wise, it's badass. Boichi is a god at drawing characters. He's so good. I think his style is very nice. He does suffer a little bit from making all of his female characters look very similar, while his male characters have a lot more diversity. But generally, I think that he's still very good, because even though his female characters look similar, they're not really difficult to tell apart. They're very easy to tell apart. They have different factions, or they have slightly different faces. They don't really have different factions, but they all have very clearly different dressing styles, and so that makes it easy to kind of understand who is who, right? So overall, I think Boichi does have a few issues here and there in terms of his art style, but his backgrounds are beautiful. His character design is very nice. His ability to create these kind of very elaborate kind of situations is very nice as well. Boichi just does a lot of very good work. I really like his drawing style a lot. Fan service wise, I think there's definitely some. Mostly, anytime Kohaku is on screen, there's definitely going to be a bit of thigh, a bit of a, you know, leg here and there. There's going to be some elements of fan service here, but that's just Boichi's visual kind of style, the way he likes to show off characters. I mean, a lot of the male characters are also kind of barely dressed as well. So it's really not like he's signaling out women over men. He's just kind of like enjoys kind of the anatomy of people quite a bit. I mean, of course, he's also maybe pervy, but like it's manga, man. That's just how it is. Again, like I mentioned in Fire Force, don't let fan service ruin what is potentially a very good story just because, oh no, boobies, you know, like it's not that big a deal. But yeah, rating wise, a 4 out of 5. It's still great. It continues to be good. And I just really, really liked it a lot. It's very, very fun. I definitely recommend it. And I don't really have any other similar titles to recommend or to kind of compare this with. So I'm just going to say that it's just very good. It's very enjoyable. If you like things like Minecraft or survival games, you'll probably like Dr. Stone. And if you like science, you'll also like Dr. Stone. If you don't like science, you don't like survival games, and you don't like this kind of idea that, you know, this guy has to develop society once again, you probably won't enjoy this. But, I mean, you probably wouldn't be watching this review anyways, so don't worry too much. It's not that big a deal. Check out a few chapters. If you like it, go for it. If you don't really care. It's all good. It's not, you know, it's not like you're going to miss out on anything if you don't like this stuff beforehand. So, yeah, there you go. That's all I have to say. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know what you thought. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and see you guys later.